to another vlog. I'm Samara Renee, and I am doing my official review of the Backstreet Boys concert at the Sphere in Las Vegas. And last video, I just wanted the videos to speak for themselves. I've been getting some really awesome responses on YouTube Shorts. I posted 2 YouTube Shorts last week, and I'm just getting a lot of questions about people asking, like, if you're in general admission, do you have to go stand in line early? What do you need to know? Will you be standing in front or get a bad spot in the back? So I'm gonna give you guys a couple of tips on how to get towards the front, and also just some other tips on making the whole experience so much more fun. If in the particular, if you only have less than 24 hours to be in Vegas like I did. So with that, let's get started on the tips. This is not a big deal. A lot of people fly, but I'm feeling a little bit leery with the airlines right now. So I ended up driving. So a lot of people came from all over the country, actually all over the world that they came. So if you have the opportunity and you live close to Vegas or airlines and you take an airline, whatever, just find the best deals that you can. I ended up driving. We actually left really late. We were supposed to leave earlier in the morning by 9. So I rented a car, and I would say my first tip of my whole trip is, if at all possible, if you have a spouse or a boyfriend or anybody else and you have to drive to Vegas, have them drive. Just be a passenger princess. I was lucky enough to be a passenger princess on the Vegas trip. And honestly, I love being in control. I love driving, but I actually had the opportunity to be driven this time, and I really had so much more energy to go to the show and be ready. So that would be one of my tips, is just leave earlier. Find the cheapest deal that you can. I ended up just going on a website like Expedia, and I got a hotel room at the Westgate, which is like not one of the high-end hotels, but it was $48. The one disclaimer I will say is that there's a resort fee, and I think it's like $100, so you're really paying $148 for a night. So that is one thing. So just find the cheapest hotel that you can get. Staying at the Palazzo or Venetian is going to be really expensive. So if you can stay at one of the other hotels, I know there's the Westin, I believe there's a Holiday Inn as well. There's a Hyatt that I was looking at staying at. But if you are able to find a great deal, go ahead and do it. And especially if it's like in walking distance. Another great tip, I will just say, for getting prepared for the show, that the Sphere parking is unbelievably expensive. At least on a night that I went, which is a Saturday, it was $84 just to park your vehicle, which is insane. So if I can encourage anybody, is either get an Uber, they'll drop you right off where you need to be to get into the arena, or you can just be dropped off by a friend. Or some of the people, they stayed at the Venetian, so they ended up going through, there's a bridge that takes you over from the hotel over to the Sphere. So if you have that opportunity and you're staying at the Venetian or the Palazzo, go ahead and take the bridge over. The only downside about taking the bridge is that they don't open the bridge until a certain time, and I cannot remember. I think it's after 5:30 is when they actually open it. So if you're one of the people who want to get in line early, you want to guarantee that spot. I ended up meeting 2 girls that got in line at 3:30 to stand in line to make sure that they received their front row spot. Then that's great, but you actually really don't have to get there super early in order to get a good spot. You just have to know what to do. A lot of the advice that I got was just TikTok, just different people giving their reviews and their tips. One of the great things that I learned even before getting there, well, number one, let's start on the whole outfit. I saw a TikTok where there's a couple of TikToks where people didn't get the memo that the Backstreet Boys, in particular AJ, made this announcement. They posted it online and social media, and they said, we really want everybody to wear white, all white. So everybody else got the memo, but there was a few people who didn't. And when you don't show up in white, you stick out, and it's actually kind of comical, but everybody is wearing white. So what did I do? I'm the type of person that I like dark colors because I don't like getting dirty, and I tend to have stuff fall on my shirt. So what did I do? I didn't want to spend a lot of money on white because I'm probably only going to wear it maybe once or twice. So I figured I'm just going to go to Ross. So I ended up going to Ross like the day before I left, and I ended up going to the clearance section, and I found a shirt that was $4.99 that I'm wearing in the video, as well as some pants. I think they were Marc Jacob pants, and they were like 15 bucks. And then I was like, not gonna go for the white shoes. I'm like, no one really sees your feet. But then I found a perfect pair of Skechers that had the pretty like I'm calling it the Backstreet Boy blue, like on the Millennium album, that was on the shoe. It says like, it's very slight, but it's there. So I ended up getting those shoes for under $19. So you can't go wrong. So I spent maybe like 53 bucks on the full outfit. I felt that it was worth it. I wasn't spending a lot of money on my shoes. I wasn't spending a lot of money on my clothes. So all of that worked out. A lot of people are buying like VIP. Some people are just able to get general admission. I'm going to talk about general admission without the VIP because I just didn't think to do it. I kind of regret not getting the VIP. So I only wish that I knew that the VIP was just like another like after the show party, which is off the chain. So I really, really wish that I did. But if you can't afford it, this is what you need to do to make sure that you get to the front. So I had planned to get there early at 4:30, and that didn't work out. Reason being is that we left late. So I ended up driving with someone, and we ended up going later than I thought because I had to wait for him to get here. So I ended up being driven out there, which was really great. So I was able to get like a video on the way, and we were listening to Backstreet Boys all the way there. And so we didn't arrive until almost 4 o'clock. Quickly got dressed, and then we headed over to the Sphere. One of the ways to get in if you're in general admission only and not VIP is that you need to go to the entrance. They have right now the Wizard of Oz, they have like the witch's shoes. So you need to locate that, which is on, I believe it's the east entrance. I could be wrong. Just look for the witch's shoes and walk and follow the line to the end of the line, and it will say general admission. That's it. So if you see VIP anywhere, I think that's west entrance, do not go there, go past there. So what I did was I heard that on a TikTok, so that I saw those witches shoes. I said, okay, I need to keep going. And before I got in the line, I just double checked with the security, and I said, okay, this is general admission line only, correct? So this is not VIP, like floor tickets. And she was like, right. So I got in line. Now, mind you, I went in August. It was 104 when we went. So I'm wearing all white. I wore pants, and I'm dripping sweat. Now, luckily, because I had paid attention to a lot of the tips, there were girls who were saying there were people passing out in line. So if you're going to be coming early, to make sure that you bring water, you bring an umbrella to give you shade, because they're not going to let anybody into the building until they open the gates. And I think the gates technically open at 6:30. So a lot of people stood in line from 3:30 on, and we're in like extreme heat, which is insane. So if there's one thing I can encourage you to do if you're in Vegas, no matter what time of year it is and you're going to stand outside to wait for gates to open, even an hour before, is to bring at least 2 bottles of water, like good sized water. So I ended up bringing a big bottle of water with me and drinking that as soon as I got in line, and I just started sipping it through. I had that bottle finished, and I stayed in line for less than an hour, and I was the lucky one that actually had water. There's a lot of people who weren't. I saw a couple of people who fainted and, were looking like they had heat exhaustion. And so security ended up having to pull them out of the line and taking them to their, emergency triage area. So just make sure that you come prepared, wear something cool, wear comfortable shoes. No one's really going to see your feet, in particular if you're in general admission, because you're going to be standing the whole time. So if you didn't realize that when you purchase general admission, if you read the fine print, it says that this is not a seat. This is standing room only. So it's first come, first serve. For an hour, I finished my bottle of water, and I was right by the door, and I started feeling funky. So the plan was for myself was, as soon as I get inside, to find a water fountain, fill up my bottle, go grab something to eat or drink quickly, and then make a beeline for either the left side of the stage or the right side. So that's one of the tips I picked off of TikTok, is that people will come in and they get mesmerized by walking into the sphere and seeing all of the, different, and there's just so much, just like sensory overload. So when you walk in, you're just like, whoa, like look at all of this, and you're seeing some of the videos that are playing on the screen, and you're hearing the music and people are talking, and it's just insane. So when you come in, just be mindful, like go to the bathroom, get extra water because you're going to need it, and if you're going to grab souvenirs, grab it while you can. In particular, I'm always a solo concert person, so my situation is different. If you have friends, you probably have a little bit more flexibility, but for sure, as soon as you get there, if you have friends, go to stage right or stage left and try to get as close to the front as you could. I made a beeline for stage right, and I ended up coming around, and I just found where there was only like a front row. So I knew, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be on the side of the stage, but it's better than being in the very back and not seeing anyone. I actually think general admission tickets are actually so much better than actually sitting in seats. And the reason being is the way that the sphere is actually constructed is that the seats are actually further back from the stage. So the people who are actually on standing room on general admission actually get closer to the boys. So if you want that really amazing concert experience where you're actually interacting with the Backstreet Boys, this is the time for you to just get the floor tickets. I think my tickets cost $600 just for a single ticket. So if you have your friends and you guys are able to get some type of package deal, go for it. But my main purpose was just to try to get as close to the stage. I visualized it. I said, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get as close to the front, so at least that I can make this trip worth it. So I did, and it was great. So I beelined it, stage right, got into the second row. Then a tip for being a solo concert goer is to make friends with all the people who are around you. So first thing I did was I just said hi to the girls who were in the first row in front of me and making friends with them. We introduced ourselves and just started chatting, let them know I was by myself. And I was like, hey, if I need to go to the bathroom, can I count on you guys to hold my spot? They said, no problem, we got you. So I said, perfect, and vice versa. Just popping squat on the floor. And I ended up drinking my water. And then I saw the souvenir cups, actually, my Backstreet Boys souvenir cup. So then I wanted to get a souvenir cup. So there is actually 2 small little bars that are actually on the stage floor that you can go to on both sides of the stage. So I ended up running over and I just asked for water because I don't drink anymore. So I just asked for water and they gave me an extra cup of ice and I had extra water. So I just was downing water the whole time before the show. I ran to the restroom as soon as I got in, got some extra water, got there, drank a bunch of water, and then before the show, I think about like a half an hour before the show, I had the girls hold my spot again, and I went to the bathroom one more time just to make sure that I didn't miss anything once the show started. So this is the souvenir that I got because I didn't want to waste time standing in line and miss my opportunity to get a closer spot. So that was a sacrifice I made. And so I guarded this puppy with my life. I held it the whole concert because I was afraid someone was going to step on it and break it. So that was kind of my deal. So now I love it. And that miss mine's forever. So it says Backstreet Boys Millennium. There we go. Love so much. Another tip is just wear comfortable shoes. Make friends, they'll hold your spot. There was actually another girl who actually lives in the San Diego area, and she was like 2 hours from me. And so and she came solo as well, which was cool. So we also held her spot as well. It was her 40th birthday that day. So we said, okay, all the people around us, I think there was like 5 or 6 of us that were like, okay, we're holding everyone's spot and making sure we hold down. So we had they typically, like on the website, they said the show typically starts at 8:45, but the night I went, they were actually running behind. So they started the show at 8:50, I think more like 8:55. There's going to be a clock that starts and it gives you a 10-minute countdown. So watch for that. That is your opportunity to make sure that you're in your spot, that you're ready to go. That's the time when everyone starts kind of frantically getting in their space. And the cool part that happened on our side was that at around 7 o'clock, Brian ended up coming out and just kind of peeking and looking at the crowd, and he waved to our side, which was kind of cool. So we got like a little like moment with Brian, which was great. And yeah, we just sat on the ground for an hour waiting for the show to happen and taking pictures and meeting people. The coolest thing about going to this concert, I think, was not only just an amazing show, but it was the people. The people were amazing. Everybody was kind and helping each other out. There was a gal that was going through the line. She brought this huge bag of like butterfly clips, and she put some in all her friends' hair, and she was like, well, I still have a huge bag worth and we're not going to use these ever again. So they just started sharing them out with people in the line, which was cool. And then I had another lady who her daughter made all of these little friendship bracelets, and they had the Backstreet Boys, like the different names. So I got Howie, and they like all like Millennium Blue, and then there were little microphones on them. So she was just going through the line, and she said, my daughter made all of these bracelets, and she told me to just pass them out to random people at concerts. And so I ended up getting one of them, and it was so sweet, and just another cool little souvenir from someone I didn't even know. The show starts at 8:50, and like the crowd is freaking out. The cool thing, I think, a lot of people are like, if you stand on the floor, you're not going to get the whole experience of the Sphere. There's thousands of speakers, and there's a huge screen that goes over the whole entire arena, and that's great. But I was there to see the boys. That was the main thing. I wanted to be as close as possible, and I was focused on them the whole time. So some people are saying that they were feeling like motion sickness and stuff. I didn't have that experience because I was just so into watching what they were doing on stage and not so much of the background images. But so I can't really answer that for you if like you're worried about motion sickness, because I didn't have that experience. But some people were feeling a little woozy. I don't know. I mentioned the good people at the concert. There was another situation where there was a gal that was in front of us, and she ended up scratching herself, and so she just had blood just trickling down her arm. And so security came out, and they were saying, hey, does anybody have like a band-aid or first aid kit? And they were scrambling to go find something, and there were two girls behind her who just happened to have band-aids and happened to have like, wipes to clean her wound, and just was like, oh, we got you. Like, here, we got extra band-aids and we have this, and he completely took care of her. It was just like such a good positive vibe. Everybody was kind. Nobody was like looking at you sideways. It was like such a great experience. The concert starts, the graphics. The cool thing is when the show starts, there's all these different images. It goes into like this whole space motif, and then there's one part in particular where it goes like, it looks like you go out into space and there's nothing but stars, and just like listening to the crowd go, whoa, like everybody was like, oh, cool, and looking at all the different visuals. That was the fun part. It's intense, and everyone's just in a fever pitch. And once the boys pop up from the floor, that's another tip, that if you are recording, just keep your camera focused on the stage, because they will pop up. Just wait for the little air rocket thing, spaceship thing to go over, and then there's a part where there's kind of like a rock landscape feature. They will pop up after that, so just a heads up. The music, the fun, the joy, the moment of just being with a bunch of really cool people, mostly millennials, singing and reminiscing about the good days of the early 2000s was so great. And I screamed the whole time. I like the whole concert and sung along. We had Kevin on our side of the stage a lot, and he was interacting with our side a lot, and it was so cool. That's why in all of my clips I have so many good shots of Kevin, because he was on our side a lot. A little disappointed we didn't get Howie on our side very much. He only came up for like the call. I think he was on our side for like a very brief moment, and then he was gone. But we got some good images of AJ and of course Kevin. Brian was on our side a lot too, and he was just like a doll and just like waving at people and saying thank you, and just everybody was just so sweet to the audience. And yeah, it's just a memorable experience. I'm not going to go into like the show set. Like, if you're going to go to the concert, just go, like, just experience it. And I spent the money because I thought it was one of those like once in a lifetime experiences, especially because it's a Sphere. It's one of the most amazing concert venues in the world. And I just was like, I saw some of the images that were on TikTok, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta go. There's no way I'm going to miss this. So if you're kind of on the fence, wondering, should I invest? Should I spend the money and go to Las Vegas and see the Backstreet Boys? The answer is yes. I mean, whatever you have to do to go, if you need to put it on a credit card, don't really recommend, but if that's you, you do you. If you need to do like Klarna to do it and pay on time, that's on you. But it's once in a lifetime. It's such a great, fun girls' night. If you have the girls, a lot of people bought like their couples and husbands, and some of the husbands were like, why am I here? And they ended up having like the best time and singing a song. So it was just such a fun, positive experience. The Backstreet Boys, put on such an amazing show. And like, when you realize like we're in our 40s, right? They're in their late 40s going on 50, right? You kind of have an expectation, like if you have seen a lot of artists that have gotten to a certain part of their career, they start to slow down. And so you're just kind of like, okay, we know it's going to be a cool show, but is it going to be like when they were younger, right? So the cool part of the whole deal is that they are in sight. Still in their prime, top shape, which is amazing that they put on such a great show. I mean, they are doing it like they are still in their early 20s. It's just the most amazing show. The choreography is on point. And they have a couple of interviews that you're talking about all the different ways that you're trying to keep their bodies in good condition so that you're able to give everybody an amazing show. So, we all have that beautiful experience, because I think there's nothing worse than seeing an artist that you grew up loving and then, like their energy is not where it used to be. So anywho, that's kind of my thoughts on the show. Amazing. Go do it. Spend the money. It's a great investment. I know they added several shows towards the end of the year. Those are going to be hot tickets, especially around Christmas. I think there's a show like the day after Christmas. But if you have a chance to sneak in, a lot of them say that they're sold out. But if you go to other ticket vendors, like if you were to go on Ticketmaster or what is it? StubHub, maybe, I think that's what it's called, all the other ones, you can probably find tickets that they're probably going to be priced even more. But just dig around, you never know. In particular, if you're going by yourself, you will find random places that you can go, and you'll probably get a good deal if you get a single ticket, because they're trying to fill seats. So that's one of my advice to you, and just enjoy the moment. If you have a time, which I didn't have time to, but if you're able to go to the Millennium Terminal, it's where the Backstreet Boys have all of their souvenir at the Venetian. Go to that. I believe they said it opens at 10 a.m. and it closes at, is it 10 to 10? I don't remember. I just know that for sure that I didn't get a chance to go because the hours didn't work out. But if you're able to go and have that experience, I hear that's really cool. But definitely stay at a hotel that's close so that either you can take an Uber, or if you want to walk. I wouldn't recommend walking in the summer because it was over 100 degrees. And just hydrate, and spend the money, have an experience, and enjoy yourself. And leave a comment if you're going to the next concerts that are coming up in the fall. Let me know. I would love to know what dates you're going, who you're going with, and what song are you looking forward to hearing the Backstreet Boys sing. So anyways, make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thanks to everyone who's been watching my videos and my TikToks, and appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video.